This is Unit 5 lesson on parallelograms, so please create a vocabulary card for this term. This term is going to be super important for this unit, as all the other terms we're going to learn after this is based on the parallelogram. And all the other terms or polygons that we learn after this have the properties of a parallelogram. So if you don't learn or understand or remember what the properties of the parallelogram are, you're going to be missing properties from all the other figures that come below or after this one. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two pairs opposite sides parallel. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. Okay, so what does that mean for our angles? Well, that means that opposite angles are congruent. So angle D and angle B are opposite angles. I'm sorry, angle D and angle B. Congruent to angle B. And angle A is congruent to angle C, as those are opposite angles as well. So another way to define a parallelogram, we did say quadrilateral. I could also say a trapezoid with two pairs of opposite sides parallel, because it is going to have all the properties that a trapezoid has, in addition to these properties that we're listing below. So again, because we have these parallel lines, we know that angle A plus angle D is 180, angle B plus angle C is 180, but I don't really want to list those here, but I'll put them on the side anyway, because again, that comes from the properties of parallel lines. Right? Again, those are consecutive, same side interior angles. What else do we know? So that's all we really know about the angles, other than having alternate interiors created by these diagonals in the second picture of the parallelogram, but I'm not going to go into that here. What do we know about the sides? Well, in addition to the opposite sides being parallel, so again, AB parallel to DC, and AD being parallel to BC. So we have AB parallel to DC. AB is also congruent to DC. So opposite sides are not only parallel, they are also congruent. And we have AD congruent to BC. Okay, so opposite sides are parallel and congruent to one another. Okay, so that's it for angles and sides. The only other thing we need to discuss as a property of all parallelograms are the diagonals. And what's important about the diagonals is that they bisect each other. So AE is congruent to EC and DE is congruent to BE. So diagonals bisect each other, meaning DE congruent to EB and AE congruent to EC.